As you move towards your desired reality, you will feel the old you ripping and clawing to stay alive, and the new you in need of childlike care and attention for conception. 225 pounds is a dream bench press for a lot of dudes, right? And when your max bench press is only 135, it seems pretty far-fetched. You've only ever benched one plate. You've only ever been this person. And now getting to this new person who benches 225 seems like a long ways away. Seems like a lot of separation between who you are now and that person, right? But screw it. You set that as your goal anyway. And in getting started, 225, this big goal, seems like a fantasy land. Seems like a long ways away. You've only ever benched 135, and there's this identity, this story that you've always told yourself about who you are. And it's been embedded into your subconscious mind. And part of you questions whether this is even possible for you. If you can even achieve this goal, if you are this type of person. Because after all, you've always been a skinny kid. It's always been difficult for you to put on weight, right? These are the stories that you've been telling yourself. So you put this 225 on a pedestal in your mind, way up there, right? Right, you're down here, the goal is way up there. And this is because you clearly don't feel like that person. You clearly don't feel like the person who's on that level way up there, okay? You low-key feel like an imposter for even thinking that you could achieve this goal. And if you were to tell any of your friends or family members, they would probably laugh at you, or at least look at you in a weird way, like, what are you doing? But you keep this goal in your mind quietly, and day by day you train and eat. Week by week you train and eat. And even just after a couple of weeks of doing this goal seems a little more possible for you. And it's simply because it has become a little more familiar to you. You've kept it in your mind. And you've even looked up videos on other people doing it, and you see that it is possible. There's other people who are skinny and, did it themselves. And you've been able to analyze this goal a little more, become more familiar with it. This goal of benching 225 has been at the forefront of your mind. It has captured your attention. And now you start seeing some real progress in the gym. Your 135 bench quickly jumps up to 150 over the first month. But your progress here isn't linear, right? You slack some days, you get down on yourself some days, you slack on nutrition and discipline, and you start to battle with this new person that you are pursuing, this new person who benches 225, right? There's this old, skinny, familiar version of you who benches 135, and there's this new, jacked version of you who benches 225 with ease. And these two identities, they fight and claw, and they pull you in two different directions. And they fight as you rip away from that old one and you nurture that new one. And after just a few months now, the time passes, and just after a few months, you reach 175 on the bench press, and this new wave comes over you. You reach 175, and this new identity, this new person has arrived. You feel it in who you are now. And this 225 goal hasn't even arrived yet. You've seen enough progress. You have felt that old identity fall away. And now you simply know. You know you are that person who who achieves the goal. And because of that identity shift, now the results are just inevitable. It's at the identity level. You can feel it like a tipping of the scale. You spent so much time on that old skinny version of you, and you worked your way up to this 175 mark, and it's like the scale tipped, and now you're on the downstream to the goal. That downstream flow to your goal is in who you are now. It's in your bones. And you feel yourself as this person who benches 225. And even though you're still 50 pounds away from making a physical reality, you feel yourself as this person. The past skinny version of yourself feels like light years away now. And it's this weird feeling you have inside of you. This weird feeling of momentum. Like you're swimming downstream. Like you've swam upstream for these weeks, for these months, and now the stream has flipped and you're swimming downstream. And because of this, you've learned an invaluable lesson to take with you. Through putting your mind to this goal, you've learned this big lesson. The goal only seemed impossible because you didn't feel like the person who could do it. You didn't think you were that person. It was an identity issue at its core.